City of Green Bay raising what it says is a bipartisan issue, campaigns not paying their public safety bills.
The mayor detailing thousands of dollars in invoices that have gone unpaid since the campaigns of 2016, the same year we first reported on that issue. Jason Zimmerman is following this for us. He has a first alert update from the Fox Valley newsroom. Jason.
Cami, the city of Green Bay continues to have a tough time collecting from candidates who come here for rallies. This has been a problem since 2016 on both sides of the aisle. Today, we received a list of outstanding balances. The two most recent from former President Donald Trump's visit in April and First Lady Jill Biden's visit just a few weeks ago. Green Bay is seeking reimbursement for the money the city spent to staff police, fire, and public works, plus direct traffic and parking. Those invoices show the Trump campaign owing more than $33,300, the Biden campaign owing nearly $7,000. Back in 2016, Action 2 News covered this exact story, exposing how a number of cities in northeast Wisconsin who sent out bills for campaign visits which went unpaid. In Green Bay, this includes Trump, but also Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders as well. This is not a problem, was not a problem in 2020 since the COVID-19 pandemic prevented rallies from taking place, at least in Green Bay. The mayor saying today, quote, "We are honored to host visits from presidential candidates and appreciate the significance these events hold for our community. At the same time, there are very real costs associated with the public safety resources these events require, and it is crucial that the financial responsibilities associated with these services are borne by the campaigns, not our taxpayers," end quote. Just a short time ago, the mayor posted on X that the Biden campaign is in the process of making their payment. So far, no word whether the Trump campaign will follow suit. Reporting live in the Fox Valley Newsroom, Jason Zimmerman, Action 2 News.